What's going on, YouTube? Test this microphone out here again. See if it's working worth a crap. This is a new mic that I got, an external mic here. It was one of the cheapo Amazon ones for like, I don't know, $10 or something, so can't really expect the world of it, but we'll see how it goes. It's Friday. Getting out of work. Everybody's all posting the memes like leaving work Friday, doing a big old nasty burnout. Nah, not so much me. Especially in all this freaking traffic I gotta deal with. I hate traffic. I don't know how people live in big cities that have like hour-long commutes and bumper-to-bumper traffic. I couldn't do it. I would probably kill somebody. I just could not deal with that nonsense. It's crazy. But St. Patty's Day today. Go home and have some corned beef, drink some adult beverages, you know, like cool kids do. Always trying to be a cool kid. Look at this guy. He's in a hurry. So I got an interesting call from my buddy this afternoon. So my buddy, his wife has I believe it's a Mazda Speed 3. And for those of you who don't know, it's a little front-wheel drive, or no, maybe it's a 6. I think it's a 6. His might be all-wheel drive. It's either a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive little 4-cylinder turbo that Mazda makes. Neat little cars. They're fun. You can actually make them go decently quick for not a lot of cash. With a good tune, and if you're running E85, you can really crank the boost. You know, a little direct injected engine, really impressive. But anyway, so I don't know if it was maybe 6 months ago, maybe not quite 6 months ago, the AC compressor decided to, I guess, take a dump on it. And I don't know. He works on cars himself, but I guess he took it to his shop just because he didn't have the time to deal with it. And I think he paid like $1,500 for a new compressor. And I think when the compressor went, it messed up a bunch of other stuff on the front of the engine. So he got a bunch of other new parts and crap for it. Yeah, it was around $1,500 to have it all done. Well, so he calls me up today and he says, "Hey man, my wife's compressor on the car just took a dump again." Like, that sucks. You just had it replaced. He's like, "Yeah, tell me about it." So at least he dropped it off back at the place that fixed it, put a new compressor on it. So then he's like, okay, so backstory. I have my secondary car is a 94 Honda Accord, little 2.2 liter single overhead cam VTEC with a 5-speed. It's just kind of a beater with a heater. It's a good car. It runs awesome. But probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I bought it from my buddy. And I drove it ever since until I got this truck, I don't know, 2 years ago. And then I kind of started driving it a lot more. And now that you kind of have a family, I need 4 doors. So the little 2-door Accord it just doesn't really work out that well for me anymore. So it doesn't get driven much. And so he asked, "Hey man, can I borrow the Accord for a little bit? Because I don't know how long this thing's going to be in the shop for." You know, he's a good buddy of mine. He's done a lot for me, and I've tried to help him out with stuff. He's a good guy, awesome guy, really good friend. And, you know, the car really isn't worth that much, so I, just been like, okay, I wouldn't have a problem with him taking it. But I've always been told to be very leery about loaning out your vehicles, because when you loan out your vehicle, you're loaning out your insurance too. And it's not a problem if nothing happens, but there's always that chance of, something. You could get in an accident with a school bus and kill 14,000 kids, and who knows? Like, the stuff happens. It's like that commercial on TV, like the Mayhem guy, where just he goes and causes random crap to happen. It's an insurance commercial. But anyway, so I've always been really hesitant about that, and I told him, I was like, well, I have no problem with you taking the car, but it's like the whole insurance situation, and he's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, and So then he offered. He says, "Well, what if I put my own insurance on it?" I was like, "Well, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, shoot, whatever. As long as it was your insurance covering it. It's not the cost of the car I'm worried about. It's what damage would happen if somebody comes back and sues you or whatever, So, and he's like, "Well, I got to stop by the body shop and see how long, what it's going to take and how long it's going to be, and all that other fun stuff that everybody loves going to the mechanic for." Which I've never gone to a mechanic. I always fix everything myself. I don't trust other people with my working on my cars, I should say. But so anyway, I ended up giving my insurance lady a call, and she said, "Well, first off, the only company that will insure a vehicle that the person who's paying the insurance does not own is Progressive." And she said that they're kind of I don't want to say a sketchy company, but they play a little loose with the rules. And I need my sunglasses. The sun's coming out here. Get my sunglasses on. There you go. Now I'm cool. We're not going to GoPro on the head with sunglasses and a microphone. Good thing I got tinted windows. People might think I'm weird. So anyway, so she says, yeah, the only company that will do that is Progressive. And so I was like, well, I was thinking about having him do that and then just me dropping the car from my plan. And she says, well, basically the rule of thumb, I don't know if it's an actual law or not, but it's kind of a rule of thumb, is they always tell everybody, don't insure something that you don't own. Like, it's kind of an unwritten rule in insurance, I guess. I didn't know that, but that's what she's telling me. So she basically said that even if he... What the heck is that? Oh. Motorbike. You guys get pissed in traffic, too. It's like a little 250. It's not really going anywhere. Anyway. What was I talking about? Brain fart. I'm having a senior moment here. So anyway, she says that you can't insure something that you don't own, basically. And she said that even if he has insurance on the car, if the car is still in your name, you can still be held liable for it. It's like, really? So she's basically, yeah, so if something happens and they could come back and sue you too, and take your house, and how that, we live in a sue happy society. Everybody loves to sue everybody for everything. So it just kind of pisses me off, like, I got this car, it's not worth a lot, I'm not using it, but because of this wonderful society where everybody wants to freaking sue everybody, and insurance is this big huge racket sometimes, when you actually need them, they don't want to pay, it seems, but you pay them all the time, But because of all that, I can't loan one of my good buddies, when he's in need of a vehicle, the beater that's sitting there in the driveway that I'm not even driving. I mean, how sad is that? I'm trying to get him to buy it back. I mean, it's still a great car. It's a 94, so it's, old, but it actually kind of has lower miles for being a 94. Like, it has like 150 something thousand miles on it, which most of those cars, I think, at that age are, 250 or more. It still starts and runs and drives every time. Like, I wouldn't hesitate to hop in it right now and drive across the country. I mean, it might not be the most comfortable because it's not the most spacious car, but I'd do it. I wouldn't, I wouldn't think twice about it. Maybe I'd put some air in the tires and check the oil, but then, well, let's go. So I'm trying to get him to buy it back, just because, with having the family now and stuff, and my truck was down for, I think, a week at one point because I had to put, what was I doing? I don't remember if it was wheel bearings. Yeah, I think it was wheel bearings or brakes or something. I was waiting on a part to show up before I could put it back together. And I had to use my two-door Accord, and I had to put the baby seat in the back. I had to literally climb into the back seat of the Accord, holding my child, strap her in, and then manage to get back out. And I'm a big dude, so getting in the back seat of that Accord is not fun, and especially while trying to balance an infant child while you're doing that. It doesn't work. And I'm about ready to have a second one, so I couldn't even do it then with two car seats in the back. So anyway, it needs to go bye-bye, and I offered it to him at a pretty, I guess it's what it books for, which for what you're getting is still cheap. And he originally sold it to me years ago. I don't know what I say, 5 or 6 years ago, for about what it booked for as well. Which for what you're getting is still cheap. So I'm hoping he'll bite on that and just buy the car. My little brother, he had almost gotten a DUI. He has like a 2002 or 2004, a Volkswagen Passat, a little 4-door turbo, something or other. And if you know anything about those Volkswagens and the Passats, they always tend to have issues, and it was down recently, but he had almost gotten a DUI. But long story short, I know drinking and driving, he's a freaking idiot, but he didn't blow, so he didn't get convicted, and he just had to pay a bunch of court costs and lost his license for a year. So over that time, his car is set, and it started having all kinds of problems. And there for a while, it was like breaking down all the time, and it wasn't reliable, and he couldn't get to work. And so I offered him the Accord. And at the time, he said, "Oh yeah, I'd be interested. I've wanted a stick car for a long time anyway." And he says, "Well, hit me up in the spring. I'll probably be actually looking to buy something then." So I've been kind of sitting on it for a while. Not really. I've been sitting on it for a while, not really doing anything with it, just because I'm kind of waiting for him to buy it, since he's my brother or whatever. And I don't know. I need to get rid of it so I can get something else. That's another topic. I'm trying to figure out what the heck I want. I mean, the truck's paid for, and I really don't want to take out a car loan on anything. Wow, hit puberty again. I'm not used to talking so much. The car, the truck's paid for. The wife's car's paid for. We're trying to pay stuff off, so I don't want to take out another car loan on something. But I want something that's, obviously has to be 4 doors. It has to be sporty. I prefer it to be a stick shift. I'd want it to be relatively quick. I would say, is that old Citation or something? I don't know. That guy's always getting some neat, random old cars sitting around. I want it to be something that's at least gonna, if you want to break it down into quarter mile times, I guess, I would like something that's in the 14s, maybe a lower 14 if possible, and stock, I should say, stock. And it's kind of hard to get that without spending an arm and a leg. A couple cars I've looked at, I've been so impressed with this Accord that I've had that I have beat on mercilessly, and it's taken it like a champ, and it's still a great quality car, even though it doesn't maybe look the greatest nowadays. The clear coat's faded and all that crap, but there's no squeaks or rattles or anything. The last problem I had was the muffler rusted off, so I basically have an open pipe after the cat that stops right under your butt, so it kind of rattles a few things. But other than that, you go over bumps, the suspension's tight, it handles great. Heck, I've autocrossed that car before and it did wonderful. No complaints. But I've been so impressed with that Accord, which I was never a Honda guy, definitely not a Honda fanboy, but it kind of made me rethink my stance on it. Was kind of thinking maybe somewhere in the 2005-ish range, 4-door Accord with the V6, I don't know, was it a 3.5 or something, and it would have to be I don't know whether they have a 5 or a 6 speed, it'd have to be a stick shift. From the research I've done, those cars, the stick shift models with the V6s, with a good driver, can turn some low 14 quarters. And by today's standards, that's not fast, but that for a daily where in urban camouflage where you're dropping the kids off at daycare and crap and merging on the interstate, I couldn't complain about that. I'd be very happy with it, especially if it got the 30 miles per gallon that I'm used to getting in that other Accord. This thing gets 16 or 17, so I burn about half as much fuel. So that's one of the things I've been looking at. Another thing, I've always liked the Panther platform. So the Ford, the old cop cars, the Crown Vics, the the Lincolns, crap, I can't remember what they was called. I think my power steering pump's a little low on fluid, starting to whine a bit like a Cobra. And then, yeah, so like one of those cars, like the old cop cars, I don't necessarily want a cop car per se, because, you know, cop cars have a ton of service on them, or a ton of use on them. They have a lot of idle time, and, you know, they're usually beat the snot out of. But I think my grandma, she has like a Mercury Grand Marquis. You know, something like that. 4 doors, full frame car, safe. I mean, it's the 2-valve cars, you know, they're not going to be fast, and it's not going to even run in the 14s probably, but at least you can put an exhaust on it and get a decent sound. And I don't know, I've always kind of liked those cars. They don't handle too bad, so that was an option. Now, if I could find a Mercury Marauder with the 4-valve in it, shoot, yeah, but those things they might as well be made of gold. I mean, good gosh. Another thing I was thinking about, and one of my buddies just picked one up. I think it was like either a 2005 or a 2006 Cadillac CTS V, and it has the LS6 in it with a T56 6-speed, black tinted windows. It's a pretty sweet car. He's very happy with it for being, you know, all stock. Shoot, that would be a great family car. I know he got a really good price for his, but I know the next generation up goes for like stupid money, like in the 20s, and even the cars like his are usually, you know, in the I don't want to say higher teens, but like maybe the mid teens, you know, which is way more than I want to spend. You know, I want to be able to cash flow it and buy something in cash. So if I actually sell that Accord, that would help a lot getting towards something like that. But I don't know. So there's been a few cars like that I've looked at, and I don't know. I looked at one of the Lincoln Panthers. I can't remember what it's called. I looked at one of those, but it was pretty trashed up and ratty. And you know, one thing, I don't want something that's ratty, like especially on the inside. You know, I want something decent. So anyway, that's pretty much the story of that. And yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions or comments on what would be a good, you know, 4-door daily driver, something that, you know, all the kids around and haul some ass into and have fun, that's reasonably priced. I know that's a tall, you know, it's all list of things I want, but it kind of is what it is, you know. I just something that's decently reliable too. On top of all that, you know, put it down in the comments. That'd be great. Great to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Be sure and like and subscribe. Or hell, if you didn't like it, hit the dislike and troll and tell me how much of a faggot I am. Whatever, I don't care. But stay tuned. I just got this camera. I just got this set up. Hopefully it's going to be an awesome summer. I need to make a video telling you guys about my other cars that I have and, you know, what else I'm doing with them. I got some neat toys. They're not the fastest thing in the world, but you know, I'll go through all that in another video. And hopefully this summer we'll be able to do some racing, and you guys can come along for the ride and have a good time. So until next time, stay classy, YouTube.